So, doing long division. First things, I know when somebody first thinks of long division, we're probably thinking of like how in elementary school we were given these problems randomly, and then the teacher was like, "Let's solve them." And some students probably think, "Wait, these were good memories or what? Bad memories?" First things first, probably bad, but when we think of long division, the first thing that we need to realize is that we need to know the multiples of whatever that number is that we're dividing by. All right? If we don't know that, then we're going to technically not be able to divide the number. So, first things first, I'm going to just get out some good multiples of 32. So, let me write some of them out. 32 times 1 is 32. 32 times 2 is what? How do I find that? Just add what? 32 to 32, and I end up with 64. And let me just do one more. So 32 times 3. So if I add one more 32 to this over here, I add 2 plus that 4 gives me 6, and then 3 plus that 6 will give me 9. Alright, so now I have some multiples of 32, and this should help me to divide 32. Now I have to look at this number, and I have to say what is the number places from this number going on to this number. So first I need to say, okay, this number is what? Number in the 10 digits, right? So tens and then the ones, right? And then the ones, right? So this number is highest is tens. So let me start off on tens here. So technically 56. Now from there, I'm going to say I need to find a multiple of 32 that is right under 56. So right under. I can't be over by too much, and I can't be under by too much. If I'm under, I can't do the problem by too much. If I'm over, I definitely can't do the problem. So let's look through our numbers and our multiples here. And if we look at it, 56 is not bigger, not much bigger than these numbers here. So if we look at it, 64 is bigger than 56. So I can't use 64. So what I do is go to the one that's directly bigger than it, right? And then go straight to the one that's under, which would be 32 here. So 32 would be the number that this can be subtracted by. So if I would do that, I'm going to put 1 here, saying 1 times 32 would give me 32, which will end up giving me the result there. And now I'll be subtracting this by 56. So now if I do the subtraction, I end up with 4, and I end up with 2 here. So 24. Notice that this 24 is smaller than 32. If this 24 was bigger than 32, you would know automatically that you made a mistake and you need to go check the multiples again. So now from there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring down the next number. So the next number here would be the 9 here, right? And now when I bring this down, now I need to look for a number that's similar to that would go a number that's a multiple of 32 that would go to 249. So now if I look at it, let me look at some of the numbers, because clearly here this 249 is way bigger than these numbers that I have here. So the easiest ways that I can think of going about this right now is maybe going backwards, because if I go backwards, it's gonna help me get to this bigger number faster. So 32 times 10 is equal to what? So no, anytime I'm adding, multiplying something by 10 or something with a 0 in it, right? Just multiply it times that number, so 32 times 1, and then just put that 0 at the back of it. So this is 320. Now I'm looking a little closer to 249. So now I'm going to go and take the next one, just the next one right under it. So I'm going to go to 9. And the question is, how do I go to 9? I need to subtract 32 from this. So if I subtract 32, right? So 2 subtracted by 20, right? I end up with 8. Then there's a 3 over here. This carried the 1 over, right? And now we carry 1 over there. So this would be 2. And this is 11 minus 3, which ends up with 8. So I end up with 88. Now all of a sudden, 32 times 9 is looking way closer to 249. Now let's go to the next one. The next one would be 32 times 8. And 32 times 8 would be what? Subtract 2 from here, I end up with 6. Subtract 3 from here, I end up with 5. Why am I doing that? Why? Because I'm going to the next multiple down. So I'm going to end up subtracting 32 anytime I want to get the next least multiple going down. Okay? So now I'm going to end up with this. And this is still what? It's still bigger than 249. So I can't use that. I have to go one more. So 32 times 7. So 32 times 7 would be what? 32 times 7 is going to be, subtract 32 from this, and what would I end up with? 2 minus 6 would give me 4. 3 minus 5 would give me 2. And I end up with this. And this would be the nearest multiple to 249 here. So now let me use that 224 there. Remember that it's 7 times 224. That would give me that. So I end up putting 7 here. And now I end up subtracting this 224 from here. And when I subtract that, I end up with 5 here. I end up with 2 here. So now I end up with, if I divide 569 by 32, I'm going to end up with 17, remainder 25. Another way of writing that would also be 17, and we can write it fractional. So using this 32 that we have here, 32 would be the denominator, and 25 would be what's left. And that would be what you write it, how you would write it in mixed fractions.